Hello.
Hello, how's everybody?
How's it going? What's up, chatters?
Welcome
Hi,
to True
chat.
Crime in Real Time.
Yeah, welcome to True Crime in Real Time, y'all. We 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 watched this Karen Reed watching this Karen Reed video, you guys, or these Karen Reed trials start up again. And we gotta get your input here, chat friends.
We have an interview with the juror. If anyone, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I
Okay.
was curious if people in chat, does everybody know the main breakdown of what happened to Karen? Like why we're even here? Because I know there's creators out there who have made some really great videos that I know Eric and I have watched. And now, see, Ashley is not with us tonight, but she'll be back. She'll be back with us at some point. We're figuring out time. Um, what about you guys in chat? Do you guys think you want to learn more? Like, do you want us to tell you about what happened with Karen Reed? Or do you guys want to talk about this juror who like came out right now? Because I'm blown away. What did you think, Eric?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what he had to say. And interesting.
It was wild. I want to see that guy's face with mute. Like he's just like answering questions and he makes the most amazing faces where he's like totally like he's seen. They're like, "Do you think Karen Reed is guilty?" Like the questions they're asking him, and his face
Yeah.
was like, "Well, like, do you think this might have been a cover up?" Well,
I tried to put myself in his shoes, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ducky. Yeah, Ronnie. His name was Ronnie. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I loved Ronnie. I thought you're right, Eric. I want to be in his shoes, and B, that's pretty like I mean to come out and his face I like I guess you could see our faces technically. I would show you my face, not that big of a deal, but like I mean he's on screen with Turtleboy and that's a huge channel for this case. That's basically the channel.
It's basically kind of a law enforcement corruption twist to this case, which
Right.
is also very scary. Hey, happy faces.
Hey, happy faces. Oh,
Which it
cool.
puts him in a difficult situation to come out and talk about it with another trial still about to happen.
No, I have a question because I've watched all the Turtle Boy stuff and I realized today that I never watched Turtle Boy's like origin. Like what was he just he lives in Boston clearly. What is his or why did he pick up on this? Is his family police officers or is there do you know?
No, I believe he just he knew about I think he knew about some kind of corruption within the Camden Police Department
Okay.
and he I just think he had a heart for Karen and he just got real deep into it.
Well, it's kind of hard because you see her, she's not a very big lady. she's spunky and I like her. I just think it's very I mean, the whole thing stinks of corruption. It's hard to watch, to be honest. It was hard to watch the first trial.
Yeah, it was and later on we could talk about her interview too, which was
Yeah. I
really
have some
good too.
clips from the interview. I pulled up I have some videos we can watch. I pulled up what I have is like the you guys watch microdots. I like microdots. I can't remember microdots drops. Maybe is their second channel. Yes, they've got a couple channels, but I'm just gonna make the wild assumption that they are from Canton or like somehow know
Yeah,
more.
they're probably from the Boston area.
Yeah. So yeah, Boston. So they're like, their videos have been so revealing.
You got one to show?
Well, we got all of them, and I wasn't sure. I think I was gonna go. They have this one 3D reenactment of the whole beginning, and I thought we could go like just watch it so we could see, because this isn't. This is like technically you'd look at this and be like, oh, well, that's cut and dry. They don't have enough evidence, but that's you've never heard of microdots, Rage?
Oh, then show
Mm.
it because Microdots is good. It's good
Yeah,
story.
let's watch this microdots. It's like a 15-minute video. I'm gonna put on 1.25 speed. If you guys think it's too fast, let me know in chat, and we'll try because it's good though. The person, whoever Microdots is, I applaud you. Like your videos are incredible. Let me find it here in YouTube and we'll pull it up because all the videos on that channel are like they're all about Karen, right? There's like 2020 interviews, done a whole bunch of
Yeah.
3D recreation by Microdots from 6 months ago. Good. It was.
If I remember, they do a lot of like science, right? Like,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
they're like the way they break down the cool thing to me is really important. We'll look at it. Let's look at it. We'll pull it up. They do some CGI or AI, I guess. 2025. I guess it's technically. Let me pull it up. Hold on. It says unresponsive. We're waiting. We're waiting for you, YouTube. Oh, here we go. So, like, I think that from watching this Juror, I honestly don't know how we got here. And I think that it's really important to know, like, we'll talk about it after this, but the fact I want to be more informed when I'm on a jury. Is all I'm saying.
I know. Like, because he came out and said like the first two charges, it was 12 on, to acquit both charges, but they thought that you had to do all three charges, which is, I mean, I would definitely question that, me myself.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense, and it seemed like that doesn't make sense. But you know what? I'd be honest with you. I realized while we're talking about it, I've never actually been on a jury. I've been called for jury duty once in my 20 plus years of being able to be on jury duty, and I didn't get called to be on in the jury. So I don't know what jury instructions look like, but this juror that was interviewed by Turtleboy, 2 days ago, basically explains that they didn't understand the directions. and the jury foreman was kind of pushy. Seem like that?
Yeah, that's what I got, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, let's watch this video and you guys let's take some Karen Read notes on this 3D video because it's impressive. Let's see here. Oh, this is a 2020 video. I didn't even pull up the right video. Hold on one second. There we go. Oh, this is weird. This is what was going on before. Huh.
You want to just go into it then?
Yeah, we could just go into it. I don't know why something's wrong with this video, right? Because it's giving me an error message every time I hit play. Oh yeah, we can just go into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what were you thinking? The juror said he was confused. Yeah, talk about it, Eric.
Yeah, so he said like they had the charges was second-degree murder and leaving the scene of an accident. And then there was manslaughter. With non-intentional manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. So he said on the second-degree murder and the leaving scene of the accident, they were all 12 jurors were acquitting. Then he said on the involuntary manslaughter, it was a 6-6, like there was 6-6 and they started deliberating that. And then they said that they finally got that to 8-4, but that was why it was a mistrial. But he said they couldn't. The other stuff they thought everything had to be unanimous. So, and instead of asking the foreman, I guess they made a group effort supposedly, and the foreman and a few other people decided that they made up that they think it's only one, it's one charge and that's it. Which is very, I mean, I don't even know how you can do that, but
Yeah, that was amazing to me. I'd say I think we all that of course that video's played in the background of my computer. I think we all know like the basic breakdown of it. Like I think everybody involved in this could have been charged with a DUI for starters. If we were gonna like go backwards and start like piecing stuff together, nobody's sober. It's like almost impossible to like get the truth of any story when every single person involved has been drinking.
yeah.
I got no problem. I got zero problem for if you want to go out drinking. Zero problem. But when you're talking about a whole bunch of police officers out getting drunk, and when Brian Higgins is talking about going back to the police department to move the cars.
Yeah. And they were drinking, and then they went out back to the house for more drinking. It's like,
Great. Party. After party.
Yeah.
The
That's
bars-
also what the juror said. He said, well, he had this weird thing he kept saying. Well, she was in the car, he was in the car. He died, so he's like kept saying like, oh, so you think it's her fault. Like, which is totally an odd way to look at something. Like,
Right.
like,
It's
and then there was alcohol involved, but like, okay, like, so they were both in the car, and it was her fault that he died. Like, I didn't like some of the stuff he said was very, like, I don't know where he came up with it,
right.
but
You heard it. Somebody said it to him.
he said like, oh, she was there, he was there, and he died, so it must be her fault. Like, then I remember the Turtleboy asking him like, so she guilty as soon as she came in the courtroom, and he's like, well, no, well then no, and like he didn't know what to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he thought like that. But I believe he actually, as the trial went on, he thought she was innocent.
I do too. In fact, I think it was, I actually wrote it down. I could pull it up, but the video from Turtleboy is like 3.5 hours long. But at like an hour and 38 minutes in, Turtleboy asked him, like, do you think she was not guilty? And his face, I wish I could have gotten a screenshot of his face because he looked over and he looked up, and we watch a lot of those body language people. I watch a lot of the body language people, and the look on his face was like, it wasn't an eye roll, but it was definitely more of like yeah, I do think she was innocent. Like, and he kind of was like, well, he didn't really have any other choice. They didn't really feel like they had another choice.
Yeah, well, that's the jury form, but the way it was.
Did you see a copy of the jury form? I know I've heard so much about them not understanding it.
Well, there was supposedly no box by like
For not guilty. No
Yeah,
box
yeah.
at all. Now, my question is this: are there separate jury forms? Is each charge get a separate jury form? It didn't sound like it. Are different courts different in different jurisdictions? Like, am I going to have a different jury form?
I heard they were showed one jury form in the beginning, and then it was updated at the end. That's what the juror actually said that. So the
He
first
did
one
die outside the car.
initially showed was different than the one that the one they initially showed was different than the one that they showed at the end when it was time to deliberate.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that doesn't seem right, right?
I mean, that's the one where that Bev went over, and then Alan Jackson tried to like bring it up that it's not clear, and then she said, "Well, that's how we do it in Boston, right, Mr.
Yeah.
Yannetti?" And he said, "No."
Yeah, that's funny.
He did bring it up to he was gonna like so he could appeal it, but that didn't work. What else? So if anyone has any questions, just put them in the chat.
I know, Rach. What'd you put in Discord? I can't pull it up at this second. I can pull it. I have the thing. It started in our backs in the back screen here. That video is just like taking forever to load.
And then when they Finish what
I
you're
didn't
saying.
know. I was just waiting for Rach to answer me in chat. Maybe I can pull up what video she's talking about.
Well, when they asked him like why
Oh, the jury form. Gotcha. Go on. Go on.
why the juror thought he not guilty,
Uh-huh.
he said the injuries didn't match up with the damage to the vehicle. Like, John had like no bruises, nothing, besides that head wound that he cracked his head open from.
Yeah.
So, he felt those injuries didn't match up with getting hit, backed into by a car. So that's why that particular juror was on the not guilty side after all the evidence. And another thing, they thought like the dog bite thing, they said that was a distraction. Like none of the jurors believed anything about that. Like they just felt like that was a distraction.
Can't really
They
see this, can we?
they thought ARCA, the science guys, they thought they were that they were insurance company and they were just talking like an insurance company would talk. Like
what?
this
Oh
this
gosh.
jury seemed very like not with it. I don't say unintelligent, but they were like, a lot of things were like a distraction, and like they actually thought Turtleboy paid the ARCA guys. He said.
Yeah, that's wild. I did feel kind of bad for Ronnie when he was talking. I pulled up this verdict slip here that they have, and I don't know if you guys can read it. And I can read it out to you, but I was going to say, I don't know if when Ronnie was talking, I thought he made it sound like the foreman was a bit on the alpha side.
Yeah, but he wouldn't commit on it.
Right.
He wouldn't commit on it. No, and he was trying to get him to, and he wouldn't. He just said, "No, well, we all did it. It was all our decision." But I felt that way too, and I felt like he didn't want to throw him under the bus.
Right.
I totally felt that.
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting. It was kind of like he was so polite, right? Chat agrees. The Ronnie was a nice person, polite. Seemed extremely honest with facial expressions and everything. Every answer he had was straightforward. He was having a great conversation with Turtleboy. This verdict slip does say not guilty at the top.
But is there a box?
There's a box. There's a check. One says not guilty. There's a little like open space to check mark. The second one says guilty of offenses charged, manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Check one or both of the following: manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, and or manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. 3 says guilty of lesser included offense, involuntary manslaughter. 4, guilty of lesser included charge of motor vehicle homicide, which is a felony.
And that's the exact one from the trial, or is that from a random one?
This one that Rach gave me says Commonwealth versus Karen Read. Can you?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if y'all can see it on the screen. I'm sharing
small.
it, but you can't really see it. I'm going to take it down because it's so small. I don't know if you can actually read it. I'll put it in. I'll put that form that you sent me. I'll put it in the community page so you guys can actually look at it. I'll try to make it a little bigger.
Yeah, you're saying it looks like each charge is individual, right? Is that what you're saying, Rach?
Well, that was like one form for all of it, huh? Is that just one form for all charges? Right, that offense too.
I mean, I would think like
it doesn't say it's for each individual charge. I see.
Yeah. So it looks like which also I don't understand. Like if you check involuntary manslaughter and you check second-degree murder, and the other juror checks this, like. It seems like, you know what I mean? Like would have to be for each charge would have to be individual, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, you would think so. I mean, you're not just because you are driving doesn't mean you're drunk, right? Those are two different things.
How did they get like 12-0, 12-0? Like, did they start saying each individual charge and then all of a sudden say, "Oh no, we don't do it that way"? Like that don't match up.
No, I don't. You're right. That form is weird because it only is talking about the individual charge, the offense 002, which was the manslaughter charge, and nothing else on this form. This verdict slip has any other charges on it. This form itself is only for Manslaughter were operating a motor vehicle under the influence.
You know what else I found really interesting?
What?
The jurors did not know that there was an FBI investigation.
Oh, Ducky says there's no, on the original jury form, there is no not guilty available.
So maybe that might have been the first one that we just put up, because I remember I told you there were 2 jury sheets.
Yeah,
One was
yeah.
updated, so the second one might have not had the box. Because I remember
All right.
Alan Jackson brought it up.
Yeah.
He said,
"Oh yeah, they definitely said there wasn't one. That's why that form surprised you when we just pulled it up. So that must be they're clearly they had all the information laid out directly in front of them."
So as I was saying, the jury was not allowed to know that there was an FBI investigation with the grand jury.
Really?
And they didn't know that the FBI paid ARCA. Like they thought, they actually said they thought Turtleboy paid him, and he's like, "What?" It's kind of funny, but yeah. So they didn't know any about that. And when they were like during the trial, like Turtleboy's like, "Well, didn't you hear them say you previously testified?" And he's like, "Well, we just thought that was like a police statement." Like, and he's like, "We are in. I mean, I'm an inexperienced juror, but is there an experienced juror? Like, who's a juror? Whose job is being a juror? You know what I mean?" So I would think everybody's inexperienced if they're a juror.
Yeah, you'd think, you'd hope.
You know, so like, unless you watch a lot of Law and Order or something.
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
That's funny thing to say. But I think that the main things, like some of the main things I was picking up from this juror, the main thing is that it didn't seem like they think she is guilty, and then so we get this mistrial hung jury, and even the going up to the higher court agrees with them, and that is what blew my mind the most.
Yeah, well, on the appeal, yeah, like double
the
jeopardy and that.
Yeah, the appeal. My mind's blown. The appeal, the appellate court having more information that wasn't available in the first trial.
You know, I think the appeal court knew it's a mistrial, and they didn't want to get upstage the judge, so they just figured let it go to the next trial. Like maybe.
I mean, Cannoni got it again. So what? Like, hey, chat, what do y'all think of Bev? What do you guys think of Judge Cannoni? How do you think she's running that courtroom? Because I'm not in love with Judge Cannoni, and we have some judges that we really like.
Oh, I got what Ronnie thought of her.
Oh, what Ronnie think of Judge
Ronnie
Cannoni?
thought she was very professional. She was very nice to them.
Good.
And he thought she was like she handled it very well, considering the level of lawyers she had to deal with. It was tough for her to she's dealing with like the superstar of lawyers. So he thought she was like he liked her, and he said that the rest of the jurors liked her.
That's cool. That's good, because what'd you think of her?
Me?
Yeah.
I think she was a bitch.
See, that's what I know. I know.
I didn't like her one bit.
What do you guys chat? What did you think of the judge? All right, what did it say? I believe when appeal attorney Martin Weinberger argued before Bev, there was a hot mic comment from the clerk sitting next to senior clerk. Jimmy forgot to change the form. Oh, Ducky.
Yeah, well, Alan Jackson tried to do that, and then
it doesn't go to a new judge, Mr. Mandala, and I agree that it should. Ducky thinks that Cannoni's corrupt, and I have been wondering that you like from the beginning, because the way she treated, I mean, those cops in court, y'all, or like the Alberts, like was anybody telling the truth in court? The people on that stand were all this like BS all over the place, like real obvious BS all over the place. And I thought, like, how far does this corruption go? Are we all buddies? All the judges know the cops know the judges, the attorneys know. I mean, the town's not that big.
They also asked Ronnie if he was intimidated on the last day when they all came in and they were like in the front,
Yeah.
and he said a little, but not scared for his life. He just said it was a little overwhelming, but he
Yeah.
said he wasn't like he didn't think anything was going to happen to him by his choice. So, like
I
he
think
said all the right things.
yeah, I agreed with Ron. And you could see that, right? We talked about that when they were in court. When we were watching it, we talked about that they were sitting there, that they're like eyeballing him right there. And like the whole Albert family is like right there together. And yeah, I think Ducky, Bev is a disgrace to the American justice system.
Yeah.
Not a fan, Rach. Yeah. I don't know, Mr. Mandala, why it didn't go to another judge. Do we know why it goes back to the same judge? Is that just the way it works?
I don't. I think they have their choice because I know Judge had his choice. He could have stayed with the Idaho case when they changed venue. I know that much.
Really? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
he
Like
could
he
have.
could
He
have come
had
down
his
to
choice.
Boise. He could have
He
just come
said.
to the court.
He said no fucking way.
That's awesome because Hitler was like, "Oh, I wish I could pretend to be happy, and I'm here too."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What a nut.
But I don't know how it is on a mistrial. Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, we don't see it very often. Like Rust, we saw it with the Rust trial, but there was a guarantee there that they were not going to be bringing.
Well, look at it this way. Bev knows everything. She knows all the information. You're gonna get a new judge in who has to learn everything. Like it might be a time thing. Like
But she
you gotta get.
ignored the. I mean, there is obvious lies. There were really obvious lies on the stand from people who said they were who swore to tell the truth. Real obvious lying, in my opinion. Like she saw that, she knew that.
Yeah, but I mean, and I think she still knows it. Maybe I'm just guessing why
Yeah.
they don't change it, but maybe like because it's a process. You throw someone they have to learn a whole new case. Like even if you watch the Idaho, that Hitler, he's kind of learning. It seems like he doesn't, he's listening and you know with all these like suppressions and stuff. Like it's new to him. What else we got?
Hey, Ducky's point here. I just saw AJ in an interview. Ted Daniels, Karen Reed defense, have no idea who MSP court officer John Fanning was. Fanning is in charge jurors, notebooks involved. Oh, is he the person in charge who told the jurors that was the form? Like they couldn't talk to the judge or whatever. There was something there at the end when Ronnie was saying that he tried to talk to the foreman they tried to talk to the person. Is this Fanning person, the court officer that's in charge, that told him they couldn't do anything?
Sophie, can you go to Discord? I said Cat K put something in there.
Oh, let me look here. I can go on I'm pulling it up on my phone. We get like a weird echo in here when we go to Discord. So
that's why I don't.
Yeah, that's why we're like, we can do it, but sorry if you hear
any questions. Just put right here.
Yeah, I see the forms. All right, we got more forms. Thank you, KK. Let's see here. Charge 2. I think I'm gonna have to update the pieces of paper so we can see them because I think they'll be too small on the screen. But so this is the second verdicts. There are 3 verdict slips. This other one is murder in the second degree, and it has not guilty or guilty of offenses charged. Murder in the second degree. And then, let's see. I know that's not really helpful because you can't actually see the form. And then the charge offense 3 is leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. And that has not guilty or guilty of offenses charged, leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. So there are 3 forms, but this first form must be the old one because it does have they all 3 say not guilty on them. These all 3 say not guilty clearly as the first option. So to say that they don't have that option.
Oh, so maybe we're misinformed. I don't know.
It's the first and third charge. What you posted was the second charge. Okay. It was
I thought
offense
that
1, 2, 3. All right.
I
Let's
was
see.
under the impression that not guilty had no box, and that's it.
Okay, here's what Cat K's saying. Charge 1 is the one I just read as charge 2. So charge 1 is this other one that is offense 1, murder in the second degree. In the above entitled case, we the jury say the defendant is A is 1, not guilty, 2, guilty of offenses charged, murder in the second degree. And this is unanimous decision of the 12 members of the jury, and then they sign this form. That's the number 1 form. All right, and then so charge 2 is manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Not guilty, guilty of offense charged, guilty of lesser included offense, guilty of lesser included offense. So that's the first one I read to you is actually the second charge. But it does, all 3 of these forms say not guilty. What's the confusion of that then?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
he acted like the juror acted like that. They didn't know they could say, okay, she's not guilty of this, she's not guilty of this, but she's guilty of this. Or like,
because that manslaughter form really did have like, is it manslaughter? Yeah, like I mean, nobody thinks though she if she ran into him, which
well,
which she didn't. I don't think she did. If she did that, nobody thinks that's on purpose, right? Like that wasn't.
no, well, he said that it was 12-0 on the other 2, and the involuntary manslaughter was finished in 8-4, and that's why there was a hung jury. It's that charge. Everything else they said not guilty on, leaving this scene of an accident where someone died, and second degree murder. He said it was 12-0, 12-0, and he said, and they got it down to 8-4 after the Tui Rodriguez. She sent them back for the Tui Rodriguez, and that's where they hung the jury right there.
Man. What do you guys think in chat? Did you guys watch this trial? I mean, again, I still have that other video, like right sitting on the screen. If anybody did want to watch the reenactment of the whole thing, but it's kind of, it seems like we all know what was going on here. What else did you pick up from that, Eric? I noticed there's a second Turtleboy video there that I did not
a few things that Turtleboy asked him like, if it would help. Should we drop Turtleboy's link? We're using his name a lot.
Yeah, no, I actually put Turtleboy in the description.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to post, if any of our wrenches want to post him here in chat, that's cool too. I will gladly, I'll put his name and title and hashtag him on everything. He's done all of the work.
Like that, they never talked about John O'Keefe's steps on his phone. Like supposedly, if you take his phone and Karen's phone at the time of when they got to the house,
thank you, Happy.
He's got steps, like he went down 3 flights of stairs or down a flight, up a flight or something. Like he couldn't have got run over by her if he checked the steps on his phone, like because by the timing, like when they're saying that happened, and you could look at her phone and see she didn't move. Like I mean, they said that like she was asking how come that wasn't brought in and if they knew anything about that.
I wonder how accurate that is because I have a map thing on just maps in general on my phone, and it'll tell me that I went downtown because I went halfway up the side of a mountain. Like it shows really weird locations for me when I look back at like what was your day like. And I wonder how accurate it is on the other end of that, like, am I getting...
Mine's accurate going, like when I go to work, when I work in a restaurant, I have to go downstairs, up and downstairs. And it charts how many times I go up and down the stairs.
All right. That's cool.
And it's accurate.
All right.
In that sense.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I want to know, like, there's got to be different ones.
I mean, I have an Apple iPhone and I chart my steps. Like I do that. It's like I have it turned on and I keep track of that all the time.
Is that an Apple? Is that all iPhones come with that already?
Yeah, but I think you have to engage it. You know what I mean? You got to like set it up so once you set it up, it stays there forever as long as you don't turn it off.
Yeah, the Apple Watch. Yeah, I've seen the watches, but I've seen a couple different watches have
It's
different.
called Health app. That's the one I use.
All right. Yeah, because I have my Google phone just basically like follows my. I didn't set anything up; it just follows me. And sometimes it's really right, but I've hike in the foothills behind my house, and oddly, because I go up in elevation, for some reason it shows me go south like a quarter mile instead of going. It's very weird. I don't know how. I don't know why it's wrong for that, but I mean, we've talked about GPS in different aspects. So I'm assuming that what you're talking about and those two things are more precise if they brought it
Well,
up, if it's been
well,
presented.
and the whole concept to that is John went in the house. He went
Mhm.
down the stairs with Brian Albert and Higgins, and that's supposedly where the fight was. You know, and the fight might have been, and that's the whole point of bringing that up is to show that he was in the house. Basically, to show he was in the house and he went downstairs. That's that whole point, like to give some reasonable doubt that someone else could have did this.
It's wild because we don't know what happened after Karen dropped him off.
Yeah,
But
that's like, yeah,
that's a trip, right? It's like nobody knows. And like then all of a sudden he's just outside with some like massive dog bites to his arm and dead. So
and
um
also the waterfall video
yeah,
where
that's a good one.
where Higgins is like yelling at. You could see like him and looks like him and John are having words, like heated words. The juror said he doesn't even remember that. Like like I don't know, he zoned out or he didn't think it was important or he didn't notice
Really?
or he didn't notice what was going on. Yeah, he straight up said that. He's like, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that was Higgins yelling at John like. And then Turtleboy brought up. He's like, we watch it on they see it real quick. We watch it 4 times. You know what I mean? So which makes sense.
Right? That's
Like
funny.
we'll watch it on 3 different channels and then we'll go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And I know I watched that video probably like 7, 8 times to actually see what was going on.
I did watch it quite a few times, and I'll go back to microdots again, and I definitely love the microdots breakdown of it. And you watch Higgins like when Higgins like grabs John's arm
Yeah, yeah.
for a second, and you see those little like aggressive movements of like drunk men in a bar, like
I said, if you're sitting there in court for like this is your 8th hour in court and they throw that up there, you're like, maybe you miss it. I don't know.
Ducky. This says the jury wasn't given the waterfall video. That's what I wonder. Like, so if
No, they were giving it, but he said he didn't. Basically, he didn't notice it. That's what he said.
oh, that's what he said. I thought you meant in like actual in court. They actually watched it in court, and he didn't even notice it.
He didn't actually
Many
see.
beats?
Or,
How
no,
many beats?
that was Higgins grabbing him. I mean, it's kind of black and white. It's like I said, if you've been in court all day and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't simple. It wasn't simply put, and I actually thought that the way that that's what was great about the microdots video was that they actually slow it down. He actually crisps it up or something. There's something where you can tell who the people are. You can tell just by the body shape and language of like John, and you can see he's wearing that hoodie sweatshirt thing that he died in.
I'm saying, but they're not doing that in court. And I don't. They're not. I don't think they're showing it slowed down like that in
No,
court.
well, of course, but can they? Can they this time? I mean, like that was what the second Turtleboy video was that I didn't get to watch. That's also like 3.5 hours long. Did anybody watch that? Did you watch that where he talks about what would be beneficial for the next court?
No, I didn't see that one, but I mean, I just noticed when he said things in his interview, like he asked him, like things that he thought, like he asked him, like, did you miss this? Like, this is like straight up,
Yeah,
obvious.
Mr. Mandala makes a good point, right? Like, did the jury know that they like bleached the floor in the basement or like re-poured concrete or whatever they did and then sold their house?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, they didn't know that there was an FBI investigation. They weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
And
They got right on out of there. The fact that they didn't know there was an FBI investigation is kind of sus, huh? For all the other cases we watch.
you know what he said? You know the guy Lucky? He's the snowplow guy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
He said he was the most. He like they didn't believe a word he said. Like they
What?
thought he was. They said he because he
The
didn't
jury?
report. The jury didn't believe Lucky at all. He said because he didn't report hitting a basketball hoop, and they thought he was just a liar. Like they told, as he came out and said that was the most unbelievable person of the whole of every witness, which I
Uh,
found kind of weird.
yeah.
But they're saying just
That's
because he
funny.
didn't report hitting the basketball to
Uh,
to, to his
ever?
boss. No,
Ever?
like he never. Yeah, I guess he didn't.
That's funny. That's really funny, right? Okay. So, um, it seems kind of silly to not report it. There's a little bit of snow and ice and stuff, and you could easily, like, slide into somebody's hoop on the side of the road when you're in a big truck thing. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, that would make that person a little sus, right? Like it's their career, it's their job, and they didn't bother
Yeah, yeah.
doing something that's pretty important, something that's probably a big deal, right? You probably get drug tested for that. You probably get all sorts of
Or
weird
I
little
mean,
things.
I just think it in the ice. You just report it because it's icy out. Yeah, I hit it.
I
It
thought
was
he was
icy. I
believable.
didn't
Did
see
you
it.
think
Yeah,
he was believable?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
did,
that
but
Chad thought he was believable.
I'm just saying
I
the
didn't
juror
see.
said they didn't.
Did you see that JFK video on the visit to the waterfall, Eric?
No, well, I
Those
mean,
that's I like that channel. Go on.
maybe if refresh my memory, I might have seen it. I'm not.
No, that's the guys. That's like the group of dudes. I didn't get to see it, but I like the JFK group. Those are like I didn't get to see whoever is making those videos. That's the other. We'll watch them. We'll watch them, and we'll get back to you about
Well,
it
then
because I
they asked
want
him
to know
about
my
the Sally
opinion.
port, like how it was inverted, and he's like he didn't know it was inverted, and he just he thought that was a distraction too.
Really, that's
Like
wild. Yeah, that's wild. What they thought were distractions from what to what.
there's a lot of distractions.
Yeah, I noticed he said that a lot, and I kind of thought like distractions to from what? Like it just seemed really. It seems rather straightforward to me that you couldn't like hit somebody with a car and not notice. Like I've accidentally bumped into things in my car, like you're backing up and there's a pole that's 2 feet high and you bump it with your bumper
Yeah.
and it makes a loud noise, even if it doesn't dent your bumper, even if it doesn't break anything or nothing, it makes a sound. And that's just like a stationary, tiny little object.
Oh, and then they asked him about the kids testifying,
Uh-huh.
and he said just that was just unprofessional and that turned them off, and there was nothing positive about that, and he would recommend not doing that in the next trial. Like he was very turned off about that, and he said the whole jury was.
Oh, Ducky says it's in color to the waterfall visit. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So the JFK one has them at the waterfall in color, and you can definitely see Higgins grabbing his arm. All right. Okay. Nobody else sees it? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Cat K, like a red herring. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Smoke and mirrors. But like, why?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I love Turtleboy. He's great. He's a great interviewer. I mean, I know he's real. I realize he's like asking questions from his chat, but he just knows so much about the case.
oh, they also it was interesting. They asked him about what they thought of Karen's facial gestures,
Yeah.
and he said they didn't like. They thought like I guess she came off as bitchy and arrogant, like
Really?
yeah, like I don't know, like like just
Like
some like they
resting
didn't
bitch face
yeah,
type
yeah,
thing?
yeah, like they didn't like it. Not that it I don't like persuaded them. He just said it didn't come off like she like she
Really?
was a
What'd you
little.
think?
I don't know. I was told in the beginning that when you have MS, you do make weird facial gestures, so I didn't judge it at all. But I was told that from in the beginning, so that was just my thought on it. I didn't really judge it.
I think it doesn't even matter if she has some facial contortion, uncontrolled, whatever. I mean, I never saw anything like that. When they showed her, I saw a frustrated, confident woman. That's what I saw. I saw frustration. I didn't see like angry, grumpy, you know what I mean? I didn't see like a pissed off, tight, whatever muscle controlled face thing going on. What I saw was her frustrated as hell.
I mean, she's on the trial for her fucking life. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know how you can. And he also said they felt bad for Jen McCabe when Alan Jackson like hammered her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like they felt like he was too flashy.
They were hardly touching towards the truth.
I know. I'm just saying what he said. He asked him, "What'd you think about it? Did you think like the lawyers was like mean or anything?" He said, "Yeah, with Jen McCabe, he thought they were right."
Oh, yeah, poor her.
Yeah, like he said, he felt bad. Like
I loved. Didn't we like it when the judge when the
I
attorney?
did.
Yeah, didn't we appreciate when he was like, "Come on, you're like not even telling us the truth." Like he, that's what an attorney does. I thought he did great, and I didn't. That's kind of a funny take on that. But I bet when you're sitting there for a few weeks watching them, you're like, I don't like. Remember when we watched some case, be like, that one attorney. Remember the prosecution on Rust, and we were like, oh God, that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so. Sometimes you just see it, like with the attorneys, and some attorneys just rub you wrong. And I can't imagine sitting there for hours all day long, just like watching the attorneys. And like if you think one's like extra flashy.
What about the prosecutors in the Benefield case? Those women were bad. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, yeah. That's who it was. It wasn't the Rust. It wasn't
people.
Rust. It was the ballerina. It was that case. It was Benefit.
They were awful.
Yeah, that they were. Oh man, it was like they did have no compassion, zero compassion. Those people. It was very strange. It was really weird.
Yeah, they were awful.
Yeah, I hit him 3 times. She was lying about it, and the way that they like compare the imitation to the rest of her quotes. Yeah, she's hard to watch on the stand. Her and the other, what's the other McCabe?
Oh, he said something about the I hit him. He asked him what he thought about that.
Yeah,
and, he's an EMT. Ronnie is an EMT,
right.
So he asked him, and he's like, I don't. In a trauma situation, I don't take anything anyone says. My first thing is I go to the victim and I take care of the victim. Anything said is irrelevant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we all know that. We've seen so much of that too. And like there's so much. So it's trauma. There's no way.
He said the jury didn't take any of that. They didn't take any of that like as a confession. But, so any more questions?
What are y'all thinking, chat? I mean, I'm not stoked that she has to go back to court, but we did like listening to the people in court. We enjoyed because it was so over the top BS, and they made up so many stories to cover their stories that some of their stories were so irrelevant and long and dumb.
And the accent.
Yeah, the accent's fantastic. Yeah, the accent's fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah, I loved it because they're like, I'm not gonna lie, we love the accents. There's something about that Boston accent, right? You can't. No, yeah. There's something funny, like "What dear." That's what when they talk about court, I want to say that like the Simpsons, like but with chowder, and I want to be correcting. I'm like, "Save what dear," and they're like, "What dear."
What dear.
Save what dear. Because they say it funny, and I'm like, "It's what dear," and they're like, "Whatever." I can't even pronounce it. But it's
what dear.
Yeah. I mean, you're pronouncing it correctly, but they pronounce it funny because they got an accent. They're pronouncing it correctly, but it's their accent that sounds funny.
They pronounce car funny.
Yeah. Then they go to the bar. I mean, with that, the waterfall place is funny because it looks like Joe typical any bar. And one of the funny things I thought was interesting that I remember in one Karen interview when she was talking about when they were looking for John was that, like, I don't know, it went back to the waterfall to look like maybe the bar had them late. Like maybe the bar let them in late or something. And I thought that was a funny thing to mention there.
Yeah,
That,
like that happens all the time.
yeah, totally.
Oh
It probably does. And it happens here all the time.
yeah,
All over the
I
place. It
know.
happens all over the place at bars.
I
But
used to have bars like that.
yeah, yes, of course. But it's a funny thing to bring up. Like, hey, that's a wink wink thing. Like nobody's supposed to know about that. But she did, like she do it. Like clearly it's not that big of a wink wink. But like still, she went and looked again. And all those guys are cops. That's what's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Any more questions on the juror?
Yeah, what do you guys think about the jury interview? Did you guys watch it? I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, and then I'm also like, talking to Eric.
Because I have a notebook that I'm trying to cover stuff I ran into, and I think I ran out of everything.
I'm like, I kind of feel like it's been like overly covered, but it's only because I overly watched Turtleboy, and then I overly watch all those little clippets snippets, whatever that Microdots makes, and it's so good. It really like broke it down so much. If you didn't, because I didn't get in on the trial as soon as you guys did. I didn't get to watch as much as you guys did because you're East Coast time. So you got like a couple hours more in the mornings of it than I did, and it was just so entertaining. It's going to be entertaining again, but they're not going to bring those people back. They're not going to bring back, are they? How are they? They're definitely not bringing back. What's his name, right?
I don't know. I think the defense could call some of them back though.
How's this trial go this time? Happy you watched the second Turtleboy when I saw the title, I saw the thumbnail, and it is him talking about what the defense can learn from this juror and what he thought about how they did as attorneys and all that sort of stuff. So like, what are the things that this defense can do this time that they didn't do correctly last time? Because they didn't, like, if they think Karen's sitting there grimacing, perhaps it's a statement made at some point. Perhaps somebody says, and Karen, like, I don't know, an aside, a random thing, or somebody somehow mentions that there's a reason that she makes faces. You know what I mean? I don't know, like how you.
They want John's cell phone brought in. I know that they. He made a big deal that should be brought in. The whole Sally Port inverting the video.
Yep. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, what is that all about at all? Love to hear that explanation.
There's another thing where, like, when Karen was driving to the Albert's house or something, there's the 2 minutes of a video is cut where you can see her car going by, which cuts the time, what messes the timeline up. That helps the prosecution. That they never brought in. Higgins' video was never brought in. The one where he goes to the police station and moves cars. And he's supposed to be on the phone for 12 minutes or something. That was never brought in.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I wonder at what point they bring it in before the jury gets bored. Like, how long is this going to take? Can they be more to the point this time? Do they have a way of not taking? Because I mean, I don't think you need to hear from those. Do we think? Let's just get down to like the end of the thing. Do we think that the son somehow is the person that like did this? Is that what the deal is?
I don't know.
Higgins' son, Higgins Jr., Brian Jr., whatever his name is.
No, that's Colin Albert.
Oh, Colin. Yeah, okay. At the Albert's house.
Son. Yeah.
Sorry. So, like, do we think the son is the culprit? Is that why we brought him on the stand? Because when we watched him on the stand, I didn't get to see I didn't get to see any of his questioning. I only got to see little snippets, and I remember it was.
Well, he was just put up there because he's a liar.
Right, he's a big liar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I saw the daughter. I saw the chick, and I heard her BS stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the prosecution's gonna try and attack Karen's character. And
That's so ridiculous. But Karen said it before. They made a lot of bad decisions. There were that night and just in the past of who they were hanging out with and how much drinking they were doing.
and you know what? I mean, I watched Karen's interview, the whole thing today.
Mm-hmm.
Karen is part of this case. She's studying documents. Alan Jackson said Karen knows everything. She knows every document to the T. When she shows him stuff, he says he's never ever had a client who was more on top of everything going on in this case.
She doesn't want to go to prison.
You know, he said she's really intelligent. You know what I mean? She knows everything. And
No, that's awesome. She does seem that way. She comes across that way, right?
yeah, if you watch that interview,
see that, I don't see the grimace, and you're I'll see in the grimace, and I get it, But what to me, that is a look of frustration from an intelligent woman getting real irritated. I guess I think that's a funny thing to see, the resting bitch face type thing that different people see. We don't.
She dominated the interview. You know what I mean? It was like she
she's
wanted
strong.
to talk. She wanted to tell people, and I found it funny too. She's like, yeah, we were hanging out with the wrong people, especially John's chief. Like she made that a point. Like, and Alan Jackson sat right next to her, and he was like, I thought maybe they shouldn't have done the interview, but after I watched it, I'm like, wow, this is, she's confident. She knows her shit. You know what I mean? She's
I
on
get
the ball.
I like it. Kay watched that. Other Turtleboy said focus more on reasonable doubt and why Karen didn't do it. Don't have burden to prove who did it or what happened. Just focus on exculpatory evidence on Karen. Yeah. Plenty of exculpatory evidence, right? Plenty. There's so many other possibilities here. I also, I noticed, I didn't mention that earlier in chat. I also thought the snowplow guy seemed rather honest, even though he didn't do that thing. And you guys, I guess you'd have to consider that. I think focusing on it's super weird that they didn't focus on any of that before, but I don't think they realized that these people were going to say.
I don't get how they found, he said one little white lie, and the other fucking people are lying constantly, and he doesn't have a problem with that.
Right.
The snowplow guy lied about hitting a basketball hoop. Get rid of him. But I don't know. Jen McCabe's lying about phone calls. Colin Albert's lying about being a nice kid and never been in a fight in his life. He's making videos of beating people up. Right. But poor Lucky hit the basketball hoop and didn't report it. He's a menace to society.
Right. As he's plowing the roads at whatever time in the morning it is.
But you know what? These jurors are just everyday people. They just who knows how they think or how intelligent they are. And also, you bring someone in. Oh, you're on jury duty for fucking 3 months. That's got to be fucking nuts.
And they give you what, like 80 cents an hour or something weird.
Like 3 months.
Like here's $12. Here's $12 a day. Oh, what was that, Ducky? Lucky didn't lie. He did report it immediately. Lolly got a confused part of his timeline. Oh, see? He was a truth teller. He was telling the truth.
Well, I'm saying the jury didn't think so.
Yeah. That's what. But Lolly got him confused. I see. I got you. Yeah, that's interesting because that in saying Lolly got him confused, then you go back to that thing you just said, Eric, of like how intelligent is the jury. I thought Ronnie seemed intelligent enough. Like he didn't.
That guy's the same. Even to go on a YouTube channel for 2 hours and tell his story. He's a saint.
Yeah. Oh, big time. And he was being honest. You can't tell me that man wasn't being honest. He was giving his time. He's an EMT. He's a good person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it is Yeah, picking different type of jurors. Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be hard. I remember them saying they dismissed, like, they had a lawyer they dismissed. Of course they did.
Yeah. I mean, don't the prosecution and defense like have strikes? Oh, I don't like him. I don't like him. He can go. So
Yep.
so
Yep.
they basically pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Super brave, Rach. I thought he was brave too. I mean, yeah, here's his face. He's on. I mean, and we all know that the Turtleboy's technically, I mean, he may not be controversial to me in Idaho, but if you live there and you're talking about the local PD,
Turtleboy
yeah,
got arrested for witness tampering.
yeah,
He's pretty intimidating.
yeah. I like
he,
that guy
he went
though.
to jail for 30 days.
I know. I know. It was awesome. I was wondering if his audio and his thing is that his voice in court, or is it like is it the other is it the prosecutor from when he was in court quoting him saying it? Is that do you know what I'm talking about?
I
Anyone?
think
His
Mark
intro?
Betterow was. I thought Mark Betterow was his lawyer.
Okay, is the intro, maybe the intro is Mark Betterow quoting him, because I was like, that's him, but that's not his voice. And the intro is funny because it's like him getting all pissed.
Turtleboy's a shit star too. He was walking
Yeah,
around that town talking shit, but he's for a good cause. I like him.
yeah. He stirred up stuff on you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah, well,
good kind of trouble.
he stirred up shit on the shitheads.
Yeah, it was good kind of trouble. That's what they call that. Good kind of trouble.
Ugh, so I don't know. Anyone else have any more questions?
Yeah, yeah, okay. I think that's awesome. Do you think more jurors will come forward?
I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they have to after this guy. I mean,
You
some
don't
might
think,
come forward for a payday.
right? I mean, I would love Ducky. I know. We discussed here. I think that we all would really like a group of them. I'd like to see. I'd settle even for like a 2020 interview. That's not going to be really all that deep, but I'd like to see. We've seen other jurors come forward and sit and talk to news channels or night news shows, whatever.
You know what? I also think that the prosecution might have a problem with this because I think it helped the defense watching it, like
Mm-hmm.
what they missed, what they could have done better. Because
Mm-hmm.
those are the
Mm-hmm.
questions he asked, and he kept saying, "I hope they watch. I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching." Like, putting the knife right in the back.
Yeah, totally. I loved it. I loved how he was like, I kind of honestly, I wish I'd watched it live so I could change my name to Sophie gave $5. So he could just read my name because people kept donating money, and he was
I
like,
know.
so and so gave you $5, and I was like, I'm just gonna change my name to gave $5, so then I
He's
can
like,
get something in there.
listen, don't give me money to ask the same question. You're wasting your money.
I love it, but that's funny. Chat, you'll know this. We'll all know this. Like sometimes you get behind in chat, and if you want to be like, let me read every piece of chat, then you get behind. You get more behind is the correct way to say that, I guess. But then you start. That's why he's still answering the same questions, because they wrote it before he got to answering it, and then it gets to be that extra like 40 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have fucking 4,000 in your chat like he does.
Yeah, his chat moves fast. That's super cool. It's super cool that so many people were asking questions, though. It was so neat. And a lot of people had the same question. Like Eric gave $5, had the same questions as like a few other people. And I was impressed with their questions, because I had a lot of those same questions. I wanted to know what they were thinking because I couldn't believe what happened.
Yeah. Oh, on other notes,
it's true.
Wendy Williams is getting her day in court.
Yeah,
If anybody
finally.
wanted to know, she's finally going to get her day in court, which is good for her.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I want to see Wendy okay out in public.
I think Wendy's okay. So does
Karen Reed.
TMZ.
Karen Reed was in Turtleboy's chat asking questions. Stop.
There was a name in there. I don't know if it was her.
Oh, I love it. I hope, and I hope it was her. Let's pretend it was her. Oh, she got her dad too. Oh, so she got to see her dad. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, we're talking about Wendy now. That was a mix. Wendy got to see her dad for his birthday, Rach, because it was like his 80th birthday or something. 86th birthday, or is that what she said? Yeah, we love Wendy. I'm trying to read the two here. So, was it really Karen Reed? Do you think, Ducky?
I seen it.
You did see it?
I seen her name in there. I don't know if it was her.
Was there a response? Did she donate any money? Just kidding.
No. I think she just said. I forgot what it was. I remember.
Oh, that
chat moves like a friggin' quick.
It's fun. I know I missed 90% of it.
Also, I got to do a shout out to Anijah.
Oh yeah, we love it.
From New York, who went over to Pakistan to meet her male groom, and it didn't work out for her. But she went over there and told Pakistan they had to fix that shit up.
That was awesome.
Yeah, what a brave woman.
We love her.
Proud of her. God bless her.
Yeah.
We only wish the best for her. Anijah.
Yeah.
We're big Anijah fans on this channel.
We love her. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Did you guys like that lady that we found at the end there? That was so cool. It ended up in Dubai. And you know, it's funny. After we aired that, I went and looked
at That's Ashley's homegirl.
Yeah, she's back in the United States. I was hoping she would like take over someplace. Did she get all that land? Did she get her 100K in the land? I don't know.
She's working on it.
She came back to this country, but that lady was awesome. Maybe she'll still get all those things. Who knows? That was cool.
She went viral for a week.
Yeah. It was
God
fun.
bless her.
Yeah. She was great.
We enjoyed her.
Yeah, we'll check up on her again. I kept checking to see if there's like more videos of her. I want to see her like, back in the States, giving people the business, like telling people what they need to fix and whatnot. I loved it.
Yeah. You need to.
Yeah.
You need to shut your mouth.
I tried. Oh, you guys, I tried so hard to make a clip out of her, just telling the guy to shut up. And then he started talking really fast.
No, she
was like, "Shut up!" Like she like
none of your business. None of your business. None of your business.
Yeah.
I have my right. It's none of your business.
It's none of your business. I love that. Oh my God, when she tells the guy, "You talk too much," was just so funny. Oh man, I loved it. She does need a channel, right? She should have her own channel for real. I don't know whichever one makes the most money, which is like little snippets of her just like quotes. She can go all the place. Yeah, I like that too. She was all like, I'm Muslim, I don't have to tell you. What was her thing like? Respect Allah, and she was like, when people were being disrespectful to her, or she just wanted them to like just straight like leave her alone. She was just like respect. Like it was awesome. She was like, it was so cool. I loved it.
She went over to Dubai for a minute too.
Yeah. Yeah. See, she was like, I'm broke. And then all of a sudden she's in Dubai. I bet she's got some people giving her some money. I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
People know who she is now.
Yep. She's got a name. I think
cool. And she wasn't a coward like that other girl. Her marriage didn't work out, so she went to make a name for herself. She didn't go hide.
Oh, are we talking about our friend who went to Mexico?
Yeah, that coward. Elijah made a name for herself.
Yeah, we love her. The other chick, I don't even want to say. That is so frustrating. I was so mad. You know what? So irritating, y'all. Is Eric and I talked about it before we even went live about it. We're like, I bet she's in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, she's like, she's in Mexico. We were like, oh dang it.
Yep.
We were kind of hoping she was still alive someplace. They would find her and it'd be like a good whatever. Like, and then all the bad things happened. All the bad things. But not this lady. This lady's gonna shine. That's what I think she's gonna be back. We're gonna see her again.
Yeah, God bless her.
Yeah, queen.
All right. So
all right. We wrap up for the night. Does
thank you, everybody.
Any more Karen Reed questions? chat.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We love you all.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
Dougie.
support.
Yeah, we appreciate you all. Thanks for coming and chat with us. I hope we answered your questions.
And you're not up at 2:30 in the morning.
You're
Lucky.
welcome.
We love you.
We can't make any promises in the future of what time we will be back, and we will figure it out eventually, though. We're going to figure it out
Yes,
eventually.
we will.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Everybody have a great night, and thank you. We love you guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.